Hello everyone and welcome back to our course. In this lecture, we are going to learn how to perform conditional queries with SQLite and Python. So we'll learn how to select records from a table where those records meet a certain condition. For example, let's start with our pets table because it has 3 items in it. What if we wanted to only get the row here that had Muffin as its name? So we wanted to get all of our pets that were named Muffin. Well, for that, let's go ahead and execute a SQLite query. I'm going to open up the query with my triple single quotes. Here I'm going to use select star to select all from the pet table, but I'm not done yet. I'm also going to add here that I want to add a condition, where. So we use the where keyword to specify a condition that must be met. So we're going to search for where the name equals Muffin. And this here is going to return for us all of the pets that are named Muffin. So let's call cursor.execute query, and then we're going to grab our result with cursor.fetch all, and we'll paste out our result. Can you predict what this result will be? Well, look at that. We get the result of a row from our pet table where the name of the pet is Muffin. We can also do the same with any of our different attributes. For example, let's create another select query. So we're selecting an element from our database with the select keyword. We'll select star from pet, but this time we're going to add the condition where, and by convention you typically use capitalization, all caps. We can select where an ID equals 2. So this time we are using a different attribute for the condition, the ID, and notice that the ID is an integer, so we don't put it inside of quotes. We can then call cursor.execute query to perform the query, and we can grab our result from the cursor and paste it out. The result is the sample from the pet table that has the ID of 2. Let's put in here into our owner table another entry, and let's give the entrance the same first name. Then we'll be able to use a query to select all of the entries with the same name. So here I'm going to create another query, and I am going to insert into owner. I'm going to close the query before I forget. Here I'm going to pass in the names of my attributes that I want to pass in. An ID, a first name, a last name, and any other of the available queries here, such as city. Then we can put in the values for each of those attributes, like 2, Alex, Kropova, and Vancouver. All right, so here we have pasted in 4 different attributes for this sample. We're going to call cursor.execute on our query and run that code cell. Then I'm going to run our code cell that selects all of the owners just to verify that we were able to put in that owner. Then let's go ahead and create a selective query to get all of the owners with the name Alex. So I'm going to open up a query by using my triple quotes. So I'm creating a multi-line query. I'm going to use select star from owner this time, and I'm going to use the condition where the first name equals Alex. Can you predict what the result of this query will be? Because now we're selecting all of the owners who have the same first name, Alex. Let's get our result with cursor.fetch all, and let's paste out the result. And look at that, we get 2 of our owners returned, because they both have the first name of Alex. We could put in another owner, but if they don't have the first name Alex, then they won't be returned by the selective query. So for example, we can have a query here, and we can insert into owner. We can put in an ID and a first name. This time, let's put in values 3 and a different first name like Mammoth. All right, so here I'm putting in a new owner with a different name. I'm going to call cursor.execute to execute the query. Then I'll run the code cell, and I'll run the next code cell to verify that we added in Mammoth. Then I'll run our next code cell, and this time we still get the 2 Alexes. We don't get the Mammoth because we've implemented a selective query. These have been some examples of simple queries. Queries can get very complex with a lot of different conditions and code in the SQLite language or whatever language you're using for performing your query. And it's important to know how to perform database queries because it's important to find jobs when you are looking for a developer or an engineer job in software, and also for working with your own databases on your own projects. Learning how to work with databases and perform queries is a fundamental task of being a developer, especially if you are looking into backend or full stack development. So these have been some simple queries, and I encourage you to experiment with more complex queries because there's a lot more of what you can do with databases. Databases are quite powerful, as are query languages like SQL and SQLite. That does it for this project of learning how to perform simple database queries on a database we built ourselves with Python and SQLite. I will see you next time.